A very good afternoon to all of you. Hi Disha, hi Divya, hello Varun. Good noon, good noon. Hi Pragya. Sorry, I'm a little late today. Hello Gibson. Hi Varun. Hi Dipankar, Abhilasha. All right. Let's begin. Let's begin. Okay, perfect, perfect. So I'm visible, audible, everything is fine. We can begin now. Today we'll talk about vocabulary words. Vocabulary words are extremely important. Let's see for which all exams they are important for us. They are important if I want to, let's say, crack SNAP. Yes. 15 questions in general English. Out of them, majority, okay, 8 to 10 questions. In fact, 10 questions easily on vocabulary. Right. Then if I talk about IIFT, pick up your last year's paper. You'll see that just 4 to 5 grammar questions were asked. Okay. IIFT happened twice last year because of some glitches in the first paper. 23rd December and 5th December. And in both of them, you just had 4 to 5 grammar questions. Rest were vocabulary and RC passages. Right. Then if I talk about this exam, that it does not have a lot of vocabulary, but yes, you can see that in some years 3 to 4 vocabulary based questions have been asked. Okay, and NMAT, I'm sure a lot of you have already taken one attempt, a lot of you are planning to take it. NMAT again asks you a decent amount of vocabulary. So it's important for all your non-CAT exams out there, right? Okay, all right, just a second. So I think I'm hiding a bit of this poster, but I hope this is visible to you, clear to you, that we have the CAT 2022 fastest first impression at 11:30 a.m. on 27 December. So right after the first lot, we'll talk to you about, how the paper was, what are our first impressions about it, which can prepare some of you who are going to go in the second and third slot, right? So do attend this, right? And I hope the message is clear, even though I'm hiding it a little, right? Arey wah, Dipankar, that's great. Things worked out for you. So see, this is the universe working out for you. We say this, no, that the universe actually, when we aspire for something, the heavens conspire for us to get it. So Dipankar, that has happened with you, right? So I hope this is clear to you how vocabulary is extremely important, and in some cases, in some exams, even more important than grammar, I would say. And that is why we keep on having these sessions. So this is not the first 50 must know vocabulary word session that I've taken this year. I've taken multiple such sessions in the past also, right? Where we've had vocabulary marathons, we've done 50 words in one session, right? We've tried to package a lot of words in one question, right? So in one question, let's say in some cases, I've tried to package 4 to 5 new words for you. So all that has also happened in the past. It will happen in the future also in this coming month, right? Because bottom line, vocabulary is important. At the same time, you don't just need to learn vocabulary, you need to be exposed to various question types. So again, if you open your IIFT paper, no, you'll realize that they make such unique question types around vocabulary. Sometimes they'll simply ask you, from which language has this word been taken? Originally, what was the language of the root of this word? They'll ask you that. They'll give you a crossword around it. Match the following is a very common question type that they give around vocabulary. So we also have to be exposed to some common question types. So we are going to see them today. Okay, the common ones today. We'll come up with IIFT specific, SNAP specific sessions also. This Saturday itself, I have a SNAP IIFT specific session. Right? And of course, how to solve such questions, because we may not know the meaning of each and every word. Then is there a technique? Is there a way out? Can I eliminate in some way? That's what we are going to learn. Right? So I hope all of you are ready to attempt some vocabulary questions. Right? Some cat words also. Okay. So see, I don't know what kind of, what particularly specific words cat has in mind for you this year. But of course, when you learn the frequently used words, we call them high frequency words, they help you for your RC passages also, right? So yesterday, I remember I was taking a session for CAT 23 and students were asking me meanings of words such as cling, pave, okay, pavement. One of them asked me the meaning of acrimonious. See, these are cling and pavement. I would not even call them very difficult words as such. Acrimonious, this is a very high frequency word. Anybody who knows the meaning? Acrimonious. Before we begin, I have told this in a previous session. No RC's vocabulary today. हाँ जी, बताओ. Acrimony. Acrimony is the noun. Acrimonious is the adjective. What is the meaning? So, if I call someone's speech, let's say, okay, someone gave a hate speech, right? And I say that that was an acrimonious speech. I mean to say that it is an angry speech, a bitter speech, right? So acrimonious means angry and bitter, and you'll find this used very frequently in conversations, in articles, right? Particularly for hate speeches. Okay. I always think okay, but it's wrong most of the times. So Pragya, see, in that case, because right now today is 24th, right? So our effort right now should be to capitalize on our strengths. So you've realized that okay, RCs are working well for me. I think you messaged me over Telegram also, if I'm not wrong, right? So you talk to me about your score. I hope it's the same, Pragya, right? So RCs are working well for you. Okay, so you know this. So first is that you have to focus on this. You don't have to be so worried about VA that you, let's say, you start worrying about them right when you attempt your RCs. Don't do that. Secondly, in case you've realized this, that no matter how much I've practiced or no matter what I do, I get them wrong, be selective. Okay, at this stage, this is what I'll suggest to you. Be a little selective. So instead of, let's say, attempting all the para summary questions, choose, let's say, 2 out of 3. Okay, so choose the 2 that you feel are more familiar to you, okay, that you feel are relatively easier for you, and then focus more on those 2 questions. Spend relatively more time on them, right? That's what I would say, that when you've realized that something is not working for you at this stage, then you can be a little selective in those questions, right? Okay. Good, good. Charu Subendu, absolutely correct. I am facing difficulty in arranging the beginning sentence, and in RC, I struggled in a few questions where there are 2 extremely close options. Okay, how to opt? Okay, so PB, this is something that we teach throughout the year. So it's 1 year of, it takes 1 year of practice roughly. So to basically choose between those 2 close options, to eliminate one of them, to be more precise, right? So arranging the opening sentence. See, in that case, you don't worry about the opening sentence. Just focus on making mandatory pairs. Okay, focus on making mandatory pairs, because ultimately, if I say that this is the sequence of this particular parajumble, then if I've put 1 in the beginning, that means 1-4 is a pair. And I also realize that 3-2 as a pair cannot come before 1-4. Okay, so basically, once you find out all your mandatory pairs, no, your opening closing sentences automatically get sorted. So don't worry a lot about the opening sentence, rather focus on making mandatory pairs, right? So starting and end वाला मतलब आपसे वो वाला pair फिर नहीं बन रहा है, right? PP, that is the problem that is happening. So you know, you are able to make 4-3 as a pair, but 3-2 में you are a little iffy, or sometimes even if 3-2 is clear, 1-4 में you are a little iffy. So we have to work ultimately on making this pair only, right? Okay, all right. So I hope I've clarified your queries. Okay, so let's come to our questions now. Okay, so just take 20 seconds per question, not more than that. Your first word, blandishment. Let's see what you say. What is the synonym for this? Sorry. So basically, this is a noun. You can see that, right? Can you eliminate any option on the basis of that? So blandishment, here I've got two. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is what you say. Flattery is the synonym. Absolutely correct. When I talk about blandishment, okay, so it means when you, again, it's a negative word, okay? So when you try to flatter someone, okay, because you want them to do something for you. Yes, you want them to do something for you, you want to persuade them. So that is called a blandishment. So let's say this could happen in a work context when you want a particular team member to do something for you. So you just indulge them with some blandishments. Yes, you flatter them about their work. So this is the meaning here. Punishment, no. Repulsion, see, these are again opposites. These are opposite in nature, right? Very negative connotation. So it's about flattery. You want someone to do something for you. What is the meaning of conspicuous? Conspicuous. If I say, so I remember the other day, one of the students had not turned up for the session. So I said that, okay, X is conspicuous by his absence today. Because this is a regular student, yes? So when a regular student is absent, you tend to notice. So conspicuous is an adjective that we use for something that is very noticeable. Okay, something that's very visible and noticeable. Visible and noticeable. That is conspicuous. Okay, evident, absolutely, obvious, correct. There is this concept in economics called conspicuous consumption. You can search more about it. Conspicuous consumption. When you consume things just so others notice you. Yes, when you buy things so as to draw attention towards yourselves, that is called conspicuous consumption. This is related to the consumption of luxury goods. Okay, people buy luxury goods in order to show off to other people, right? So conspicuous consumption. All right, so here the answer is flattery. We have learned the word blandishment, and I think conspicuous must be new for you. Others were easy words. Now, coming to the second question, let's see what you say. Captious. Captious. So OUS is a suffix that is usually present in adjectives. Yes. So captious. All of these are adjectives. So grammar does not really help me here. All of these are adjectives. Just like all were nouns in the previous one. Sorry. Okay. So, you heard of this word cavilling? Anyone? Cavilling? Cavilling is, so there are people who can be critical towards you because let's say you are genuinely at fault, right? So they are criticizing you, okay? They are criticizing on a logical basis. But then there are people who try to find petty faults, right? Who are always complaining. Such people are called captious or cavilling. Cavilling is a synonym. Okay. So if someone cavils becomes the verb. They complain about petty things. Okay. They criticize you for petty things. So you can always associate it with, let's say, someone in your life, if that's the case, or otherwise, let's say some character that you saw in a movie who was always complaining, always cavilling. So captious is critical. The difference is it's a similar word to critical, but here you try to, complain all the time for petty things. That's the idea. Okay. Not spacious, no, not voluble, not coaxing. Spacious. A spacious house. Actually, the reason why spacious has been given as an option here is because they wanted to confuse you. A similar word, see, spacious, the synonym for spacious is capacious. So capacious and captious, because they sound similar. That is why this option was given here. Capacious is spacious, captious is critical. Okay, so some new words here. Right, voluble. Who is a voluble person? Voluble person. Yes, you could call this person a crybaby. Yes. So volume hai. See, volume se related lag raha hai na, voluble. Somebody who would talk a lot. Yes, that person would be voluble. So somebody who just who prates. Okay, there's a synonym for this. To prate about something. To just keep on talking nonsensically, unnecessarily, okay? That is when you are a voluble person. You prate, you're a garrulous person. Garrulous is a more common word, right? So you must have heard this. Garrulous. I hope I've spelled it right. I think there's a U here. Is there? Garrulous. I think there's a U. Let me just cross check once. Yes, there is a U. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So voluble, garrulous, to prate. Okay. Spacious, capacious, critical, captious, coaxing. कोई आपको कोक्स कर रहा है कुछ करने के लिए. हाँ जी. Coax. Somebody who's coaxing you to do something. Again, they are persuading you, they are forcing you to do something. Okay, sometimes they do it by flattery, sometimes they just persist, right? That is to coax someone. So to basically you want to persuade someone, either you persistently do it or you gently do it, but you keep doing it, right? To gently or persistently persuade someone. Persistently persuade someone. Okay, all right. Talking fluently, a voluble person, it has a negative connotation. See, if let's say somebody is talking in a very excited manner and in such a fluent manner that words are falling on top of each other, then in that case I think you should call them voluble. Otherwise, if you're, let's say, appreciating them, then I would not advise you to use voluble there, right? You can then just call them fluent. That would be better rather than calling them voluble. Okay. All right. Convincing to drink Coke. Coaxing. Okay. All right. So yes, you can create mnemonics for yourself. I always tell you that your mnemonics are just for you, so they can be as crazy as you want them to be. Okay. All right. So coming to our next question. So we learned some words here: captious, capacious, garrulous, prate, coaxing, voluble. Now let's come to the third question. Maudlin. Maudlin is again an adjective. Yes. And again, grammar does not help us here because all of these are adjectives only. Maudlin. Yes. So what do you say? Coaxing. Oh yes, coaxing. That's good. Good, PB. So if I watch a movie and I call it maudlin, what kind of a movie was it? Yes, or I'm watching a particular scene in a movie and I feel that the scene is very maudlin. It's very sentimental, very cheesy, so to say. Okay, cheesily sentimental. That is the answer here, okay? Because we are doing synonyms right now, yes? The instructions didn't change? Yes, they haven't changed yet. So sentimental is the answer. Not unsentimental. Of course, that's the opposite. Maudlin has nothing to do with bold. Desolate. A desolate forest, okay? Or a desolate area. That's a very empty, barren area. Okay? Empty, barren. That is the meaning of desolate. Right? Related to isolate. Yes, related to isolate. So bare, empty, something, you use it for let's say slums where the conditions are very bad, pathetic, miserable. So you can call them also desolate because they invoke this feeling of loneliness, emptiness, right? So even they can be called desolate. So let's say miserable. One meaning would be miserable. Okay. All right. So sentimental is the answer. Okay. Maudlin. Okay. Coming to our next question. I think now the instructions are going to change. So these are the words that we've done so far, right? Somebody is asking me what is the duration of this class. So whenever we finish our questions, that's when the class will end, right? The opposite of the given words. Now the instructions have changed. You have to give me the antonyms. Doleful. Okay. Doleful. Grammar has not been our friend today. Yes, all of these are adjectives again. Doleful. Yes. There is this popular name, people name their children in the West Dolores. Yes. So what is the meaning of this name Dolores? Does it have to do anything with doleful? Yes, it has. So one is what you say, three. Okay, you say, some of you say three. So I have to give the opposite. Remember that. I think some of you are giving me the meaning of the word. The meaning is mournful, absolutely correct. But what do I have to give? I have to give the opposite. So if mournful is the meaning, then cheerful is going to be the opposite. So 3 is the answer here. Okay, 3. Now, why would somebody name their child something that has to do with mourning or sadness? Okay, mournful, sorrowful. Yes. Actually, Dolores is a name given to Mother Mary. Okay, so it is said that, let's say, she went through a lot of pain in her life, okay, a lot of sorrow in her life, and that is why, because it is associated with Mother Mary, that is why you give your child that name. Okay, not because it means mournful or sad. Okay, so mournful is the meaning, but I was looking for the antonym, so cheerful. Generous, everybody knows, magnanimous, altruistic. I think those who've done word power would remember these words collectively. एकदम से याद आ जाएंगे सब. Magnanimous, altruistic, generous, right? Merciful. Meaning of merciful, I think, again, I don't need to explain. Full of mercy. Somebody, again, who's very kind, generous at the same time. So positive words, all of them. Okay. Coming to our next question then. So here we learned more, I think, doleful and a couple of other words. Otherwise, most of the words were easy. ठीक है. Efface. Obliterate, erase, create, construe. Efface. A verb this time. You must have heard the word self-effacing. So let's see what you related with, and you have to give the opposite. Remember this. Some of you start giving me the meaning. Danveer Karn. Efface is related to that. Self-effacing. No, even self-effacing is not related to that. Okay. So some of you say 3, some of you say, one of you says 2. Okay. So good. This is also a new word for you then. Efface means to erase. Okay. Efface means to erase. I have particularly read this word in the context of memories. Okay, it means to erase something in a very permanent way, as if it never happened. So, for instance, if somebody says, like in Harry Potter, they have this charm, no, obliviate, through which you can erase memories. So they efface memories by using the charm obliviate, right? Then somebody who is very acrimonious about their past, has some bitter memories, can say, the kind of memories that I have can never be effaced. They can never be erased. So efface means to erase, and that is why the antonym will be to create. Okay, a self-effacing person is somebody who does not want to draw attention towards themselves. So it's very modest in that way, that they would not want to draw attention towards themselves. So it's like they want to stay in the background, self-erasing in a way. They like to stay in the background. So it's a quality that is appreciated. In fact, when you call someone self-effacing, it's not a negative thing, it's a compliment. When you call someone that, okay, he or she is very modest, self-effacing, right? So I have a neighbor who's very knowledgeable. He used to be an anthropology professor, and again, you talk to him and he knows a lot about history, right? So he knows the names of not just the kings, but also their let's say their soldiers also. Sometimes I feel that he has knowledge to such an extent, and whenever he's not able to recall some details, he says, oh, I'm not a historian, probably that's why I'm not able to recall this. And I'm just gaping and looking at him thinking, itna sab kuch to yaad hai. And now you're saying, oh, probably because I'm not a historian, that's why I'm not able to recall it completely. So a very self-effacing man does not like to draw attention to himself, even though he's very knowledgeable, right? So this is how I associate self-effacing with him. You can associate it with some other thing, right? Some other person. Construe. Yes, construe is to interpret something. So she construed my words in some other way altogether. That's not what I meant. She construed it to something else altogether. Right? Yes, you can associate it with Dumbledore. Right? Dumbledore से भी associate कर सकते हो. Obliterate. Yes. Who will tell me the meaning of obliterate? To destroy completely. Okay, to destroy completely. So ob is generally associated with away. It's a prefix. Okay. Litter means letter. Litter means letter. So to destroy something to the extent that not even its letter remains, that is obliterate. To destroy something completely. Right? In Hindi we say this, no, किसी चीज का नामो निशान मिटा देना. This is obliterate. Right? You destroy even its very letters, so to say. So efface is clear. Self-effacing was probably a new word for some of you. Obliterate, construe, right? Create and erase were very easy. Now, coming to contextual vocabulary. So these were some synonym antonym questions. Let's talk about some sentences. Some words are underlined there. You have to give me the meaning of those underlined words. This is a very common one. I think those who attended my earlier sessions would know this. Let's see. Okay. So facetious. Flippant is a synonym to help you a bit. Flippant. In case you know the meaning of flippant, that's a synonym. Okay. All right. So now see, you were asking me whether these words are helpful for cat or not. Now, facetious is such a common word. Flippant is such a common word in your articles, right? Then acrimonious, what I gave you in the beginning, such a common word. Similarly, these words, self-effacing personality, if I'm describing someone, I can use that word. So these are high frequency words and they can help you in any text that you read. And facetious is funny, flippant, but it's funny in a very irreverent way, in a disrespectful way. Okay, funny in a disrespectful way. That is flippant and facetious. Okay, so if you crack a joke at someone's expense, that is a facetious joke, right? Acha, help nahi lagi, but then see it has now increased your pool of vocabulary. Flippant, facetious, both mean funny in an irreverent, in a disrespectful way. Okay, all right. Okay, coming to the next one. She gazed furtively at his computer screen. No, maybe according to him, it's not a funny profession. The way he practices it makes it funny for us. DBA. All right. So I've got some B's here. All right. Secretly, absolutely. Furtive glances. Okay, so I have always read furtive in this context. Furtive glances. They glanced furtively at each other, right? When we talk about lovers. So let's say pehli nazar wala pyar. So furtive glances, right? So furtively is secretly, in a secretive way. Not admiringly, not provocatively, not boldly. Okay, it is secretly. We had to give the meaning. Okay, had it been opposite, then probably I could have said boldly or provocatively, either of the two, right? अच्छा, ये क्या, ये जेंडर से कैसे रिलेट करा पीबी आपने? Can't he also gaze secretly? Do you do, let's say, if there's a guy, does he openly stare at other people's mobile screens and computer screens? I think that's rude everywhere, isn't it? So B is the answer. Secretly furtive. Okay. There is a synonym for this. I think we covered it in another class. Surreptitious. Surreptitiously. Okay, because I need an adverb here. So surreptitious is the adjective. Surreptitiously will be the adverb. Right? Surreptitiously. Okay. Her remarks were scarcely germane to the discussion. Her remarks were scarcely germane to the discussion. I think I'm a bit too old for Naruto, Hinata. Not something that probably me or my friends used to see. A, okay. All right, A. So this word, actually, whatever its meaning is today, right? That meaning was popularized. It was actually invented, or you can say that, by Shakespeare through his play Hamlet. Okay, he used germane in the sense in which it is used today for the first time. Germane otherwise meant, it actually comes from this word German. ये Germany वाला German नहीं है. German meant when you, let's say, were kins of each other, when you were related to each other familiarly, right? Family में related or closely related, a kin. Okay. So for instance, your first cousins are also called your cousins German. Your cousins German. Okay. This is the term that is used for your first cousins. Now, Shakespeare used it in the sense of related to the discussion, right? Closely related to the discussion. So that's when it came to mean as something that is relevant, pertinent to the discussion, germane to the discussion. So relevant is the synonym, absolutely, not the others, right? You can also associate it with germ, or germ means the sprouting seed there, okay? The sprouting germ, something that's, again, you can associate that with relevance. ठीक है? I hope I'm making sense here कि germ से आप relate कर सकते हो कि हाँ ये related है इस discussion से. Okay. All right. Let's see. Shikhar, okay. Acha, some match is going on. Germline, yes. You can associate. That's great. Okay, I don't have to explain further. Relevant is something, this is clear to you. Pertinent is a synonym. So if in case you didn't know the meaning of pertinent, you can associate it with germane. ठीक है? So these were some contextual words where some words were underlined. Let's see some analogy questions now. Analogy requires the use of logic also, vocabulary also. ठीक है? So two things together, and sometimes these questions can be challenging, right? Particularly in some IIFT previous year papers, they've asked some really good vocabulary through analogy questions, right? So let's have a look at this. Homiles to sermon, then maxim is to चलो ठीक है बेबी, whatever works. Hardik, I like your strategy. What do you say? थोड़ा क्वेश्चंस पे भी ध्यान दे लेते हैं. Okay, A, C, A, all right. Homily is to sermon. Okay, so sermon is a lecture. Yes, we all know that. I think even if you don't know homily, you know sermon. So a long lecture, usually, spiritual lectures, they are called sermons. Homily is a synonym, right? So homily also means a sermon, a spiritual lecture. In fact, it's used sometimes in a negative context also. Okay, we say this, na, अरे उसने lecture देना शुरू कर दिया फिर, right? So thus began her homily about how we should live and how we shouldn't live, right? So homily can be used in a negative context that way. Now synonyms हो गए. Maxim का synonym क्या है? Let's see what you are saying. A, all right. Mostly A I've got. Good. No, not good. B is the answer. Adage. Okay. Adage. Maxim, I thought adage was written in the first place. So an adage is, or a maxim is a saying that carries some moral truth to it, right? A proverb, an aphorism, right? So these are adages, maxims. कोई saying जैसे for instance, early to bed and early to rise makes a child, makes a person healthy, wealthy and wise. These are maxims, right? So बाकी कुछ match नहीं कर रहा. Nothing else matches. Okay. Also, here C could have been eliminated because see, noun. I am probably looking for a noun only here, right? Not an adjective as such. So on that basis, you could eliminate C here. Okay. अच्छा, सॉरी शुभेंदु, मैंने जनरली बोला कि क्लास ने ए बोला, राइट. ओके. तो बड़ा ज्ञान चल रहा है, देखो होमिली चल रही है चैट बॉक्स में भी, राइट. लेट्स सी क्वेश्चन 10. अगेन एनालॉजी, टेल मी व्हाट द आंसर शुड बी. यूलॉजी इज टू Okay. I've got 1B, 1A. What else? Come on. Quickly mark. What's PN? Okay. It's actually the answer here. Let me explain. See, again, that's why it's important that you attend various vocabulary sessions. Diatribe, harangue, tirade. They may not look like common words to you, but they are actually high frequency words. A tirade, particularly, a diatribe. And you have seen examples of these things, you just don't know the words for these things. So a long rant, right? A long rant is a tirade. All of us rant at some point or the other, no? And it's a long rant. So that's called a tirade, diatribe or harangue. So these two are synonymous then. What is the synonym of eulogy? Eulogy is again a common word. You should know its meaning. The words that we say in praise of the deceased usually, right? So the words in the praise of the deceased. Usually deceased, but it's sometimes they are said for living people also. So for instance, when someone is retiring, right? So you can eulogize them also. So I am looking for a synonym here. Critique is definitely not a synonym, because when you critique something, you analyze it. Okay, critique is analysis. So ये तो आंसर नहीं है. Euphony. So eliminate here. Euphony. Phone means sound. Eulogy, euphony, they are different because euphony is a sweet melodious sound. Okay, usually associated with songs, a euphonious song. So sweet sounding is euphonious. तो ये भी आंसर नहीं है. Euphemism. Again you understand. Yes. Cacophony का opposite. Yes, absolutely correct. Risky fighter. Right. So eliminate here. Through elimination you could do this. Euphemism, again all of you know, when we use a polite word for something that may be considered offensive, that is a euphemism. For instance, instead of saying toilet, which some people may find offensive, we say restroom. Right. Has a somehow it's considered politer. So euphemisms, using politer words for things people may find offensive. तो अब इनमें से कोई भी आंसर नहीं हो सकता. A, B या D. The answer is paean. Paean is actually, it's used for hymns, it's used for songs, okay, that praise someone. Okay, that praise someone. So in Christianity particularly, there are a lot of hymns that praise the Lord. Yes, so those are paeans. So eulogy here, it's a praising song. So this is the closest out here, and that's why I'll mark C as the answer. Okay. Clear? सबको क्लियर हो गया? अब सी आंसर है. वी लर्न यूफनी, यूफेमिज्म, harangue, diatribe, tirade, eulogy, these words here, right? Let's come to the next then. Jejune is to insipid. Again, find a similar relationship. Jejune is to insipid, then judicious is to what? So first figure out this relationship, then find a similar relationship. So there'll be a part 2 of this session tomorrow. I think we must have covered at least 25 words today, right? We'll cover 25 or more, right? I don't usually count, right, tomorrow. And the idea is again to expose you to some commonly used words. Trust me, these are not difficult words that we are doing today, right? B, C, okay. बाकी सब देख लेंगे. अच्छा, जिजून इंसिपिड दोनों का बता दूं. ओके, आई थॉट जस्ट इंसिपिड. तो फिर तो मैं ही आंसर कर देती हूँ. Insipid is something that's very bland. Okay, usually used for food, insipid food. But it can also be used for something that's boring, dull. Such an insipid lecture. Yes, if let's say after the lecture you think this, it was such an insipid lecture, then you're calling it boring, dull. Jejune means the same. Jejune means the same. Okay, bland, boring, dull. So synonyms हैं ये. Okay, so judicious का synonym बता दो आप. What is the synonym of judicious? Some of you are saying D. Okay. C is the answer. When you are judicious, when you know, we always say this, use resources judiciously. Resources on this planet are limited. That means you have to use them wisely. You have to use them prudently. Okay. So that is judicious use. When you optimize the use of something, when you use it carefully, prudently. So prudent is the answer, not impulsive, legit or fair. None of these, right? So I hope you've learned some words today. Yes, some new words. Jejune, insipid, judicious is common, right? Harangue, diatribe, tirade, paean, homily, adage, in case you knew maxim, okay? Then here, germane and pertinent, which is a synonym. Furtive, surreptitious. Facetious, flippant. Then efface, self-effacing, obliterate. Construe, in case it was new for you, construe. Doleful, okay, the meaning of the word, other words were simple. Then maudlin, which is sentimental, a little cheesily sentimental. Captious, which means cavilling. Critical is a synonym. Coaxing is another word that we learned. Voluble, capacious, spacious, right? Blandishment, which means flattery. Conspicuous, something that's visible and noticeable. So these are the words that we did today. Okay, one key to remembering words for a long time is to keep revising them. That's why I just revised some of the words with you. It's your job also that you revise them on a weekly basis. You start using these words. That's the best way actually, right? If you want to avoid constant revisions, just start using them and they'll become a part of your routine vocabulary, right? Judicial is different. Judicial is different. Judicial is legal, right? Judicial matters are legal matters, right? So they share the root. They share their root. Okay, because judge का काम भी क्या होता है? It's a task that he or she has to carry out very wisely. So the root of the word, I think the root is jur here, jud or jur, which means when you carry something out wisely, right? But then it gives rise to two different words. Okay, so I hope the first impressions bit is clear to you. I said this right in the beginning that at 11:30 a.m. we'll come with first impressions right after the first slot. So you can attend that. That will help particularly those of you who are going in the slot 2 and slot 3, right? And of course, then there'll be detailed analysis also. This you are aware of. Okay. 2023, in case any of your friends are preparing, do recommend right now is the right time to enroll. They'll get a good amount of time to build a reading habit, to develop their vocabulary, right? If they enroll now. Then 70 plus mocks, these 50 non-CAT mocks is what I am focusing on right now. Yes, they are very important, particularly because students are always, cribbing about material for non-CAT exams. So you'll get that there. Okay. Instagram, Facebook, we are everywhere. YouTube, you are currently seeing that. And yes, we can stay connected via Telegram. Welcome guys, welcome. I'll see you tomorrow as well. We'll talk about more words. So keep building your vocabulary. It will come very, very handy. Okay. Welcome. Bye-bye.